Okay, I'm starting recording right now. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Marcus Oromia, the Gold Panther Party Media Unites. Once again, I'm here with my friend Ovi, and I'm going to ask them 3 questions like I asked all of my interviewers. Number 1, trials and tribulations of life. Number 2, what's your perspective on life? And number 3, what is your opinion about the state, local, and federal government? I'm going to honor his request that he doesn't want to be seen on the video, but however, you guys can listen out for him on the audio. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Ovi.
Right on. You just heard him speak. Okay. So, Ovi.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you for contributing.
Appreciate it.
And I appreciate you. And
Appreciate
just let our audience know what is your cultural, your ethnicity. What's your cultural background?
Okay, so my parents are from Bangladesh. I grew up here, so I don't know. I guess I don't have too much Bengali cultural.
So both your parents are from Bangladesh?
Correct, yeah. And then we're first generation here.
Okay.
But I kind of grew up here. I barely know how to speak my cultural language.
Okay.
So, but I guess I'm more Americanized than what a typical Bengali person would be.
Interesting. Then you were born in New York, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's my understanding. And I know the culture there in New York is night and day. To come from a blue state to a red state, that had to be a very difficult transition for you guys.
It was 100% different because you have so many different cultures in New York. We moved here, like for example, I don't want to go into race thing or anything, but I was the only brown person in my high school, which was a shocker to me. Because coming from New York, you have so many different cultures in your public school system, but over here it was completely different.
Yes, because one thing I have noticed about Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas period, that in New York is very diverse, and you have multiple cultures in one classroom, one setting. Everyone be able to intermingle, different attitudes and videos, and learn different things from different cultures. But here in Texas, it does seem as if it does seem a little bit, even though they passed the law that the school's not segregated, but in many ways it really is, because it's segregated, and when you speak of the demographics and the areas of some areas are very high-end, very expensive people that pay into the HOA.
But do you? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
but do you think the reason why we don't have so many different cultures is because New York, like, to put it in words, it's like the hub of like immigrants, right? Because that's where the whole country's from. That's where all the immigrants came in. And everything.
Art, music,
exactly. Do you think that people feel more comfortable whenever they migrate to the U.S. to go to New York, or like, for example, like California, the bigger states than Texas? Because whenever you ask a foreigner or any immigrant, like between Texas and New York, like almost 100% of the time they would want to migrate towards New York, right? Because Texas is more of a Republican state. It's
more of a Republican state. It's a red state, and it's the problem with Texas, I feel, is that they're not willing to evolve, and they're willing to make that transition into accepting different cultural and different ethnicities. Yes, they love the food. Yes, they love you notice all these new restaurants and new bars and all that stuff popping up all over the place, and that restaurant or that particular bar is the settings of New Orleans, the settings of Bangladesh, the setting of Indian and Chinese and Korean and Thai. They love the food, but when it comes to actually engaging with the people, it seems a little iffy, it seems a little reluctant, they seem afraid, because Texans, I notice, are a little afraid to convert.
I agree with you in some of those points, but I also think like for example, in New York, you have a lot of like different cultures because that's where they moved to, and they kind of established their home there. So that's why, for example, like you have Little Italy, you have all these Italians in New York.
Yes.
But that's because they kind of migrated to New York.
Exactly.
And it's there, so whenever Italian will come, they feel more at home there than they would in any different state. Like, for example, like the brown culture, I say brown, but the Indian culture in New York is big. like you got Indian restaurants, you have like
Yes.
almost like cities just full of Indian people, right?
Uh-huh.
I feel awkward there when I go there. I'm like, yeah, I kind of feel left out. Like I missed out on a lot of things.
Okay.
But is it because that all those Indians and Bengalis and all different Asian culture moved there and kind of settled in New York? Because, like, for example, like a lot of my cousins still live in New York. We try to convince them to move to Texas. They don't want to move to Texas.
I really believe there's opportunities are there in New York that there are not here
I agree with you
in
100%
Texas.
on that.
And then that's number one. Number two, that let's keep it 100. Keep it realistic. They probably feel reluctant to want to hire a brown person or a black person or some foreign person because they can't. I know people departmentalize and they can do cross comparisons and they heard of this story and heard of that story and then they don't want to invest their time and money in that individual. We are immediately already, judging that person before. Just look at their resumes, look at their life experience, look at their work experiences, and make your decision on that. Not because that person is brown or that person is black.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
But do you think that's a bigger issue here than it would be in like New York?
No, New York, I'm pretty sure it's just all about your experience.
I'll put it out there right now. It's completely different.
It's not. I can't speak about New York because I've only been there one time there for a whole week for vacation 2 years ago, and man, it was completely night and day, man.
I agree with you.
Immediately, I felt at peace. I felt that people were willing to engage and have a conversation.
Is it because it's so many different cultures?
It's because it's so many cultures, and they used to seeing.
Yeah.
I don't like here. I walk in a grocery store here in Texas. Doesn't matter what part of Texas I'm in, and I get all these stares.
Profile.
I'm like, I'm immediately on profile, but they've been conditioned so far. They've been conditioned in that way for generations to feel as if, is he here as a shopper or he's here to rob the place? Gotcha. So that's the first two things that come to their mind. But when at a moment I say something positive or I smile at them, he's not a threat. He's a customer.
And I told you I experienced that from single-handed when I walked into a farmer's market. They all look at me because I'm brown. But you know what? Like, I'm the type of person that looks at that moment, and I'm the type of person who likes to change things, right?
Yes.
I go up to them and engage in conversations to tell them that it's okay, that my skin color is different, we're still human beings.
Exactly. We're all Homo sapiens. We are human beings.
Correct.
You cut my arm, I cut your arm, it's going to bleed what color?
Exactly.
Red. And that's the whole thing, this concept of race. We need to eradicate that. We need to get that out of our vocabulary.
I think it's headed, and this is my opinion, I think it's headed towards that because the younger generation to me, I don't think there is a race thing because everyone's going to school with different races and different thing. I think in the past it was different.
Yeah, exactly.
We agree.
Yeah.
But the younger we go in our generation, I think it's going to change. But that's my opinion.
Exactly. And, it's not actually, I've seen the same thing. I witnessed the whole thing as well. That how the millennials and the Generation X and all them are, collaborating and they're coming together. And I see more interracial relationships.
Yes.
I see more Caucasians, white Americans listening to rap music, dressing like a different decor and lifestyles, and so everyone is becoming very diverse and it's coming together. So just speed it up to number one question. That's a major good introduction.
Okay, so what made me?
Yeah, what created you? What's your trials and tribulations of life? What created Ovi?
To be, I'm not trying to sound cheesy or anything, but my mom has a big impact in our lives.
Okay.
I think she's the one that created, I have two sisters, and I'm the middle son. I think she created us. She gave us the good values, family values. It's easy nowadays to, get away from your family and do your own thing. But still, till this day, we still have family dinners. We still meet up whenever we can to, still spend time with our family. I think that's very important to me. Family, I always grew up and it was always drilled into our heads that family is very important. At the end of the day, no matter what happens, your family will always be there for you. And I believe that. And I think that's who created me.
That's created you.
Yeah, and that's what kind of guided me through the right path. I would like to say the right path. You know, make the right choices.
Exactly.
And,
your mother, you know, I met her before, and she's an amazing woman. That cluster, man, you guys, you come together and y'all engage, y'all share each other life and experiences, and y'all piggyback off each other, man. Y'all lean towards each other. Y'all
she's a good person to lean towards, and she's a good, no matter like, you know, what you're going through, it's like one of those things where you can, it sounds cheesy, right? But you can always call your mom and she'll give you that right talk to, you know, that right pep talk to get you up. But that's the honest truth, man. That's, in my honest opinion.
What's your perspective on life now?
My perspective in life, this is going to go deep, okay?
Okay, all right. That's what it's all about, baby. Gold Panther Party.
Like, I told you, like, you're doing an amazing job in helping the homeless people that need help. We had this long talk about that. That's been one of my true passions since I graduated high school. Always wanted to do something like that because I always thought, like, I'm not trying to, like you said, you're not trying to get fame or anything like that. I'm the same way. I'm not trying to get fame, but what is it that we do? What kind of impact do we do in life to help other people, right?
Exactly.
Because we're here all in this world to help or I feel like everyone's here to help someone.
They can contribute in some way,
some way. It's not, believe it or not, it doesn't take money to help, right? There's different ways you can contribute. I told you I used to volunteer at a retirement home that I used to go, and I used to be in the tech business. I used to go, a lot of them would buy computers. I'd go help set them up for them. That was actually the best feeling I ever had, man. After that, that's what made me change a lot of things, because it's so crazy to think, like, these people in these retirement homes, they wait weeks and weeks for their family to come and visit them, and they're so lonely in there. Like, that kind of, like, hit me there for a second. And after that, I always thought about, what is it that we do in our lives to make an impact? You know, so that's why I feel like I haven't done enough at this time of my life.
But you're a young man, you know, so you've got plenty of time.
Exactly.
You're still finding yourself, and that's what living is all about. You know, you grow based on experiences.
Correct.
And what you encountered at that moment, you had an epiphany. You're like, wow, you know, I can do more than just contribute money. I can
do more than just, you know, working and then just worrying about yourself and I mean, that's not a bad thing. Obviously, worry about yourself first, and hopefully you're stable enough.
Yourself, your family, and then once yourself and your family is established, then take the time to reach out to someone else who's less fortunate than you.
No, I agree with you 100%.
I really believe that we can.
That's a movement.
We can eradicate this poverty on this planet.
That's a movement that I've always believed in, and I feel like you're in the right path of doing it. And I would love to be in that path as well too, man.
Well, hey, join the Gold Panther Party, baby. You're already contributing right now by telling your story, so I appreciate it.
That's something I told you that I honestly, like, I'm very passionate about, and I commend you for that, man. It takes a bigger man to do that, man. Good job.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I gotta, contribute. I gotta go out there, and fortunately, there's a lot of lost souls out there, both black, white, and brown, that need to be encouraged, and they need motivation, and need to know that people care for them. So, question number 3 is, what is your opinion? It's not a right or wrong answer. What's your opinion about the state government, the local government, and the federal government?
Okay. So I told you I wasn't too familiar with the local governments, right?
Okay.
But this is my honest opinion on government itself, right? Yes, I do vote, because obviously I don't believe if you don't vote, and if you're still complaining, that's your fault because you didn't vote for the right person. Right?
Exactly.
So you shouldn't be complaining if you didn't vote. But here's the thing about voting, okay, and our government. At the end of the day, this is my opinion. I feel like no matter, there's no change. Like, they say, oh, they're going to change this and this.
Right.
But it's all like a political, like a corporate system where nothing gets changed. Like, no matter what you say, whoever has the biggest wallet will always win, right? These corporations, I feel like these corporations really do control our government at the end of the day.
Those lobbyists can go up in there and they're sitting in that house and
no matter what, like you were talking about, like fracking, right?
Exactly.
Like, that's not going to stop because these lobbyists and, these big companies are just...
cheap and the return is
they're making money on the side. I mean, stuff like that. That's why, like, it's almost like lost of hope in that point of view.
Yes.
But that's why I said that it's something that we can do to help other people instead of wait for like our government or anyone else try to do stuff for them.
Exactly. That's what a lot of. That's unfortunately that's what's happening in all 50 states, not just in Texas as well. That people rely on subsidies from the government or welfare and Section 8. The list just goes on and on. But how about we take the time to educate people to wean them off that, introduce to them new like computer code, and
yes,
pretty soon. I know you saw these cars you told me about in New York, the self-driving vehicles.
Yeah, it's already out there. Tesla makes them. A lot of different companies are starting to come out with it. Elon Musk, man, that guy's a genius.
Yes, yes.
That's like our Albert Einstein of our century right now, right?
Exactly.
Like, it's amazing. But you know what? Those cars need like mechanical fixing.
Exactly. They need engineers.
Exactly.
Code writers and stuff.
They need to come out with different programs for that.
Exactly.
Right?
So the government can introduce those programs to the less fortunate and teach them, educate them, assist them with that transition and problem solve.
Also, I think I'm throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Our colleges, right? Like, I feel like they need to be more affordable to people that can afford to go to colleges, right? I understand you have your private schools, they set their own prices. That's perfectly fine, okay? But our public colleges, they need to be more affordable to people.
Okay.
My honest opinion. Like Bernie Sanders, I don't believe in all his ideas, but why do you think the younger kids were all gung-ho about Bernie Sanders? Because his belief is to pretty much take care of the younger generation.
He did mention that he wanted education should be free in colleges. And so they're doing that in Italy and other countries other than the United States, offering their citizens and the kids their free education. Come on now.
But in my opinion, it shouldn't be free, because then you go into the program where if education is free, obviously your private sector colleges are they're gonna keep their same prices. So this is my opinion. Like, a lot of corporations will be more tempted to hire someone in a private school than someone in a public school, because it's free. They're gonna think they're gonna get a better form of education in a private school. Think about it in that sense of view.
Yeah, you think about because they would take the more initiative, because since they're paying out their pocket.
Correct, and they're gonna have better teachers and better stuff. Just saying with private high schools.
Okay, so there's pros and cons on both sides.
There's pros and cons.
Look, you see how we disagree to disagree in a sense, but I understand his logic. He understands my logic, but it makes perfect sense towards the end.
Yeah, so that's why I don't think it should be completely free. There should be a different system. I don't think they should raise it every year to build this new stadium or build this thing. Come on, these colleges making money off their NCAA players. They would even pay them.
We're going into an entirely different thing right now.
Well, we'll say they don't pay their players, but But you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly,
that, right?
exactly. It's man, the cheapest ticket that Texas in the OU game, I heard the cheapest ticket was like $275. But that year that Johnny Manziel played, man, those tickets went over $300 a pop.
Yeah,
and that stadium hold 10,000 people.
Yeah,
that's
I think
insane.
It holds more than that. But Johnny Manziel, that's another whole topic. we'll pass it. People pay that much money for it. That's crazy.
He'll make it. But when you spoke about there's a lost cause about relying on our government, that's true. A lot of people are feeling that way, not only in Texas but all across the country. And I really feel that the power of vote, but not only vote, but educating people what they're voting on and how that new legislation can have a positive impact in their local government, in their community, and also within the state. Because we put these people in a position of power to govern us and to pass all this legislation.
But do you think it's going to change if we put someone else in the position?
What we're doing, we're not holding them accountable for all of their, I won't say rhetoric, but all their promises, these broken promises, is what we need to hold them accountable for.
But I'm going to stop you there. So name one, I guess we'll go president level. Yeah. Name a couple of presidents that actually held up to their promises.
Wow. I have to admit,
they beat.
I've been on this story for 37 years.
Issues, right?
Yeah, they touch it just a little bit,
just to make that group of people hey, look, I'm actually looking into it, right?
Right.
Like, don't get me wrong, I was Obama.
No, perfect. This is why we have this talk.
Yeah, I don't hate Obama or anything, but like he danced around a lot of issues. Like
Right.
I told you, I'm opposed to his health care. Like you already know
yeah,
this. That affected
former
you. That
healthcare
affected me as well
Exactly.
too.
Exactly.
So, but I understand his concept of it, right?
Right.
Clearly,
That they felt it was necessary.
correct. But clearly, that concept didn't work. So
Yeah.
you had to come out with a new concept. But yeah, I don't think no matter who we put in office, to me, they're just a puppet.
There's
Like,
a
you know,
higher power that's
yes.
controlling them, and that's that 1% that people this is not the first time I saw one.
5%. I didn't say it, but you may be right in scenarios like that.
Exactly.
Man. Like that's why he like attracted so many younger people. So
Yeah,
many younger
because
votes.
he's been on this. I think he's older than Donald
he's
Trump.
old, dude. He's
Yeah,
like 73, 74,
72,
something
and
like
then
that.
Donald Trump like 70, 72,
man,
71, and something like that. But you know, you live on this earth long enough, you get to see all of the.
You know what? I feel like, sorry to interrupt you,
No,
but I
man.
feel like it's a good thing that Trump is in like presidency because now people are realizing, oh crap, we elected this nutcase. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, holy cow!
Man, you're not the only one who feels that way, you know. So he admitted himself that he didn't know the job was going to be that hard. Now he said that
He got
a little over a month ago,
hardest job in the world
and then
to run country.
During this primary, he did mention that. Oh, I can be presidential. Look at me, I'm presidential. You know, so he wasn't. He's oblivious. And he was naive at that moment, but I know now he knows that it's much more.
Oh, it's harder than he thought it was.
Harder than looking and
But
everything. But I wish
think
him
it's
well. I
because-
hope he can do it.
I think it's because he's very competitive, right? And everything he's done in his life, he always wanted to be number one, right?
Always
So
wanted to be number
I
one.
feel like this was like almost like a challenge for him. He's like, I need to win that presidency, and he got it. So. Congratulations, America! Like you elected. I mean, then again, I also hated Hillary too. Like you can't like they're both like big corrupted.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have a good candidate, in my honest opinion.
Yeah. I have heard the people saying that too on a continuous basis of that this is the worst choice of presidents that we can ever have in American history. So
yeah, I agree, 100%.
You know, this is a learning experience on both sides, Republicans and Democrats, and the Green Party. Come on, guys, you got to do better too as well. And the independents. So it's about 4 of them out there. But I know that
there's that one bit I completely forgot her name. She's like a senator, right? Female senator that's like the leader of the Green Party.
I forgot her name too.
But she's big. Like a lot of people are following her recently too. I've heard good things about her, but we'll see, man. But at the end of the day, it's going to be Republican or Democrat. You can't. It's just like you said, you know, like we're all geared towards like something, right? We're all trained to do something. We can't break out of our habits.
Exactly.
Right? So that's like the same thing. Like no one's going to put another party in there. It's going to be either Democrat or Republican Party.
Before we end this segment, there's one thing that I wanted to discuss with you too as well. Actually, it's multiple things. We could be here talking for hours, but I know time is money, unfortunately. So that SB 4 bill that Greg Abbott signed into law, the Senate Bill 4, gives any officer in the state of Texas temporary leniency, not leniency, but the act upon as an ICE agent. And you experienced that about less than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
so
I did.
just walk the audience through the viewers.
The thing is, like, I'm not the type of person, like, I don't think about stuff like that. Like, see, like, in my eyes, I'm just a human being. I don't think about my color.
Right.
Nothing like that, right?
New York.
Huh?
New York.
No, I'm just saying that's just how I think. Like, that's just who I am. So when I got pulled over, you start questioning me where I was born and everything like that.
What city were you in at that time?
I was in McKinney.
McKinney, Texas.
So he started asking me questions and stuff. Like, I understand that's his job, right? I could tell, like, he didn't even know what kind of questions to ask me. So I told him where I was born and everything. I gave him all my insurance, registration, my driver's license. See, the thing that I didn't understand was, like, you scan your driver's license, right?
Right.
Everything's on your driver's license, and I have all my registration, everything. I don't know what else I needed to carry to prove that, I guess,
that you're a citizen here in the United States of America. So, like,
but I mean, I look at it in both ways, right? I look at it like I could tell the cop was kind of, you know, like a younger cop. He was Hispanic as well too.
Okay.
Not that race has to do with anything like that, but I could tell he was nervous and asking me a lot of these questions. So I didn't want to, like,
alarm him, give him
Exactly. So
calls.
I just told him, everything I needed to, and I was on my way after that. But I told you I was joking around with my parents. I was like, maybe I need to start carrying my birth certificate one day because I don't know where they're going to deport me to. I barely know how to speak the language. So.
Man, being in America and living in America, man, I know that had to be being born in America for you to be subjected to that type of treatment.
It doesn't, because I see it. In all honesty, I'll be 100% honest with you. I know we shouldn't, but I feel bad for the families, that are illegal here. I think, I'm gonna throw it out there.
Go ahead.
We have to have some sort of system for them to, become legalized, or even
they have
something.
one, but they got to live. It's a 10-year period.
But
10 years is a long time.
Especially if their kids have been here for years, 10, 15 years. They're born here. What are you going to do? Deport their family and have the kid live in a foster care? And what? Take our taxpayer money to pay for those foster cares? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to me. Our system is just so, like I said, messed up. It is what it is. I just came to that conclusion that I don't think any president can fix it. Obama tried to fix it. What happened? Nothing.
Yeah.
Trump is trying to fix
it. You're getting it back down the 9th District Court, Supreme Court, stopping them left and right.
Stopping people that were legal to live in the United States.
Exactly.
So
it's actually, that bill is coming across, the legislation is coming across the Supreme Court today. I'm not saying they're going to make a decision on it, but they're talking about it. So it's a lot of stuff happening, man. We're living in a time that events like this happen I'm like, what's happening these past less than 2 years?
I feel like
it started in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s, and the 80s.
It's
all combined together.
It's starting to rise lately, right?
Exactly.
All these people making hate crimes. And, I hear all this stuff in the media, but then again, people say don't trust the media because a lot of the media makes half of that stuff up as well. Too.
Well, some of the visions, the audio and all that, tape don't lie.
Yeah, of course. I agree with you 100%.
I can't see how that's fake.
Yeah, of course. I agree with you 100%.
But everything else I can see.
But there are a lot of videos. A lot of people do edit them and make it look bad.
Oh, you can tell it was fake and was actually real. This is real talk, baby.
Man, it's just the world we live in, and I guess, like you said, we're geared towards the system where we just kind of accept it.
Exactly. Yeah. So that we can't accept it. We have to advocate change. We have to educate people, and unfortunately, there are those who are reluctant to want to be engaged, or they fear in retaliation. But you shouldn't. Believe in yourself, believe in your family, and move forward.
That's completely going back a couple of times. This thing's gonna go on forever.
Yeah.
Like you said, cops are starting to become ICE agents, right? So you're talking about the legal kids that are here, right? If there's a crime, okay, say a crime happens, these kids are gonna be scared to call 911 because their parents are illegal. The cops are gonna come and deport them. Think about that for a second.
Wow.
Kids,
I didn't think about that before.
People are going to be scared to call our authorities to help them in emergency situations.
Because it's going to hurt them in the long run.
Correct.
Yeah.
People don't think about stuff like that. It's so you're putting fear into these not immigrants, but illegal immigrants.
Exactly.
I guess that's the goal, right? That's what Trump is going for, to deport all the illegal immigrants in the United States. Do I agree with it? No, because I look at family value, like I said in the beginning of the video. I don't, but that's my opinion, right? So,
that's what the Gold Panther Party me is all about.
Yeah.
I appreciate you contributing and
I appreciate you
talking to us and letting us know your perspective and your views. And man, this is going to get out there, and people are going to be educated and be informed.
See, we need to make a movement on helping the homeless people in Dallas, not just in Dallas. Just overall, we need to start, like I said, I'm going to help you with this too. We need to start some charity or GoFundMe or something like that.
Thank you,
to help these people, because our system clearly doesn't work, right? So
it doesn't work.
Every little thing helps.
Every little thing helps. It's all about the people. Yes. We have to help ourselves. We have to govern ourselves.
Correct.
I agree. Closing.